And just like that, we're into August. Hello, everybody. I'm Russ Kane. This is the Midday Show. Where is Neil Long? I have no idea. Meant to be here. Maybe he'll rock up. Maybe he won't. Maybe he's had a big weekend. Who the hell knows? Anyway, it's my last broadcast for a while. Because, as I've said, I'm going into hospital tomorrow for an operation, and I'll be there for a little bit, and then I'm going to recuperate, and then come back when I'm ready. And I got to be honest with you, as I've always tried to be, that I'm somewhat full of trepidation, but nothing that a nice cup of tea can't put right. That's what I say. So a nice, marvelous cup of tea. So that's it. Yeah, it's weird. You know, it's a weird thing. You hang on. Marvelous cup of tea. Nothing better. It's weird. You know, you take your health for granted, don't you? You take your health for granted, and then when you don't have it, you realise that the wheels come off, and everything that you worry about disappears, and you realise that without your health, you got nothing. Speaking of which, you know him. You've grown to love him. Here's Neil Long.
I'd say more. It was
Hang
an
on, let's
instant.
get a proper thing here. There we go. That's the way we do it.
How are you, mate?
I've been better.
Yeah.
I've been better. I will be very pleased when this is It's very interesting.
But there's an ending in sight. I mean, because
there is supposedly an ending.
I obviously don't know what it is, and I'm not trying to force it out.
There's supposedly an ending in sight for this thing to improve matters. I've been unwell for some months, but it just the last few weeks it just went insane, as you can probably see. Let's talk about nicer things. Let's talk about your weekend, which undoubtedly was probably great.
Yes, we had a bit of a party. I'm just looking around at the clear up job that's going to be.
Oh, you got a lot of clearing up.
I've seen worse. I have seen worse, but it's going to be a good couple of hours, I would have thought. So I'll be putting my rubber gloves on.
Oh my God, you are
scrubbing floors and hoovering.
Kim Woodall, late of blessed memory. So what did you do? I know you sent me a lovely invitation ages ago to a barbecue, and I did say, I'm sorry, I'm just not feeling up to driving over to you and then socialise. I just can't at the moment for a whole raft of reasons. But did you have a good time? Did loads of people come, and was it fun?
Yes,
I like to hear nice things. I like to hear positive things.
Yes, it was all very nice. Thank you very much. We had a right production line of food. I was pre-cooking it, passing it down to the barbecue, and then it's ready, and all kinds of salads and foods. And yeah, it was really good. Thank you.
Can people in England do a decent barbecue? Not like American barbecues are incredible.
They are. I'd say we did not bad.
And what did you have? I like to know the details. You got Calagas, you got briquettes. What do you got?
No, I like a proper barbecue. I don't like gas barbecues. So we put this is a little gadget, right? Now, I'll just give you a backstory. My cousin, right? It's kind of a family trait. If there's an element of danger, like, I don't know, a barbecue, accelerants, he's up for it. And it's got this gadget.
9mm howitzer.
Like a sort of tin can. You put the briquettes in and the coleslaw, and then light it. And because it draws the air and it gets really hot really quickly, then you tip it in the barbecue and it's ready to cook. So that worked quite well.
How long does that take?
Not long. Actually, not long to get ready at all.
See, I'm going to be honest.
Accelerants, fire.
I've never understood barbecues. In America, I kind of get it because they've got all the gadgets, but I don't understand because this whole thing about it tastes so much better, it really doesn't.
Oh, it does.
Do you think so? I don't think so at all.
No.
Why?
No.
What tastes better? What did you cook? Burgers, sausages,
Burgers, sausages, chicken, and we had a veggie barbecue as well because my girlfriend's vegetarian. I could have killed my cousin. He says if it catches fire, which it can do because the fat drips down and it sparks off the coals. He said pour a bit of water on it. Have one of these bottles. So I did. Massive plume of ash. covered the food, and me, making it like I had the world's worst dandruff problem. I could have killed him.
Oh,
And he did it on purpose because he knew I would believe what he said, and he knew I'd do it like an idiot, and I did.
Man.
So I went and let his tyres down this morning.
And do you baste it? Do you put your basting on it and all that stuff? My son lives in.
There wasn't too much marinading going on.
Yeah,
I must admit, but you're right. The Americans do they do everything big, don't they?
yeah. My son lives in Texas, and he said, you can go to any roadside place that looks like any old tin shack. Doesn't matter. He said he's never tasted food like it in his life. We can imagine Texas. They do everything on a big scale. They love their meat and they love everything out there in a big way. And he said, "Oh my God, you'd freak for it." And anywhere you go, doesn't matter. It all tastes, ribs and stuff. We don't do ribs over here. We don't do ribs properly, but over there, my God.
Oh no, it's epic. It really is epic what they do. I mean, I'll give that to America. They are absolutely brilliant at that.
Now he took Azadon Brown, who's watching the show from the northeastern United States, New York State, not New York City, God forbid, but New York State. I absolutely love barbecuing. My favorite is smoked brisket for 8 hours. Now, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say over there, they do this long-term, slow smoking process. It's fantastic. And you cut it with a fork. You can it just peels away. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Does your girlfriend, whose name I cannot remember,
Nadia.
We've never met.
Have you not?
No, we've never met.
You must meet her, Nadia.
Yeah. God willing, in the fullness of time, I will. Does she get upset when all that meat's going on the barbecue? Because you know how.
No, she doesn't. I mean, I really respect her values. I mean, she loves animals. She doesn't even like vegetables.
I like that.
And she doesn't like the idea of eating them, and I completely respect that.
I get it. Every now and then I have a kind of wake up call going, what the hell am I doing? But too late. Too late for me. It's interesting. I want to talk about sort of mental health and getting ill. It's not going to be boring. It's not going to be boring. It is it's really
always happy to talk about that.
It's really, I've been struggling for a few weeks with all of this stuff. And it's really fascinating how when your health goes, we take it for granted. We think we're some infallible, indestructible machine that can just keep going and going and going and going. And of course, I always try and push myself to the limit. Say it'll be fine, I'll keep going, which was a huge, all went terribly wrong. And there may be some permanent damage. I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe no. We have to see. So anyway, the point is this. When your health goes, everything goes out the window. Everything. It's extraordinary. And you start to focus on, and for just that little window, you start to focus on what's actually important and what really matters.
This is what people say. This is what people say. They say you get. I'll give an example from tell his story, but I'll give an example from my own experience.
Come on. Yeah.
No, after you.
No, go. No. I want to hear.
I experienced burnout, and looking back, hello, buddy. Like for example, I go on a day trip with my friends and spend most of it sleeping. They were the early signs. They say you get little whispers first of all, and then a little knock, and then a 4-ton brick falling on your head. And most of us wait for the 4-ton brick before we do anything. We either don't see the signs or don't know what the signs are and ignore them. That'll be me. Which was my case. Or we think, well, I've got to do it because no one else will do it. And it's very hard to educate people. I'm not a master of it myself. That actually slowing down speeds up. It is more productive to slow down. But when you're totally not trained that way, it's so easy to go back into the old ways with that nose to the grindstone. It's a real modern day problem. It's a real first world problem. It really is.
I think one of the issues is one of technology, that we're never away. we're always there. There's always things pulling us in certain directions. Does that make
Very
sense?
much so. Yes.
And you almost feel an obligation, which is completely stupid, to be present there. And there's no reason to. It just is.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, which I struggle with, I'm being very, very honest, is giving myself permission to say, do you know what? You're really not very well. You will get better, but you're not well at the moment. Be a little kinder to yourself and ease up. And I can't do it. I try, and I have to do it.
Well, shall we turn this into a counselling session?
Well, no, no. I'm just making I'm just really making observations.
What do you think it is? What would you have to be? This is what my coach. I go to coaching calls and things. This is what my brilliant coach Nick would say to me.
You still doing coach? You still go to coaching?
I go to it's a sort of a psychological, spiritual coaching call once every couple of weeks. It's a group call and it's really good.
That sounds great.
Come along as my guest.
I might do when I'm
yeah, I think there's one tonight. Maybe we can invite him on the Midday show in return. But
that would be very good. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, but he's one of these people that's done everything. He used to be a computer hacker. He's turned people hacker, as it were. He's the most genuine, authentic teacher of this kind of stuff, of psychology, spirituality, that I've ever met, I think. He has a beautiful partner.
And it's of real help to you. It's important.
Listen, we're on Zoom calls, and sometimes he can ask a couple of probing questions, one of which I'm going to ask you in a minute with your permission. And you see 10 years drop off people. It's quite uncanny.
If you could drop about 40 years off me at the moment, that would be great.
Well, I'm serious, because when they let go of what's been bothering them or the resistance they've got to the well-being that we understand is inherent, then suddenly it's like 10 years drops off someone and the light comes back in their eyes. And it's quite a beautiful thing to see. It really, really is. And quite not uncanny as in scary. There's nothing weird or woo-woo about it. It's all very natural. And then you look at the state we're normally in and you think, actually, if anything, that's scary. That's unnatural.
Oh, I would agree. I would agree. I would not want to.
It's not natural. We're not working with the natural.
I'll tell you something. I'll tell you something. I'll give you a little insight, if I may, Neil.
Yes, sir. Then I'm going to ask you that question.
I've always tried to be very honest with my broadcasting. In other words, I don't put on a fake persona. What you see is what you get.
Not at all. You're very authentic.
And if you meet me, it's pretty much, how I am. Because growing up, and I know I'm older than you, but growing up, I never liked those, everything's, I haven't got the energy to try and do the impression right now, but that everything's fantastic. Isn't this great? And it's all I've never enjoyed that. And even when I was just working as an article clerk, earning £4 a week plus luncheon vouchers for a firm of solicitors, that's how I started. And £4 a week in luncheon vouchers.
Well, you've done well since then, to be fair.
Thank you.
Earning £5 a week in luncheon vouchers. Sorry.
When we got the rise, we were all called into the boss's office. We've all done well. We worked our guts out. And I'm still friends with all the people that I was articles with. And he said, "You're giving you a rise again, £5 a week in luncheon vouchers." Anyway, neither here nor there. And I would listen to The Flying Eye. I would listen to Capital. And I think what propelled me, and I never dreamt it would become me for 20 years. Why on earth would I? I'm not going to go through that story again. I can't be asked right now. But I would sit there, and I didn't like the attitude. And I've met him a few times. And he's a perfectly nice guy. Don't misunderstand me. But the style was, I'm up here, you're down there, and blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm a Londoner. I always commuted in London. And I thought, I just want to be like you. I know what you're going through. So I want to be like empathetic. That's the sort of thing that I wanted to do. So anyway, there we are. So this has shaken me up. It has shaken me up a lot. And weirdly, I know I'm going to be in great hands tomorrow and Wednesday. I know that. I know that. Of course I am. But you do get horrible glimpses of mortality. It's weird. I shouldn't. Does that make sense? I mean, you shouldn't. I'm going in. They'll sort it out. Fine. It'll be, a bit rough for a little while, and then it'll be okay. But you get these horrible glimpses of, well, I'm a certain age. Who the hell? You don't know. You don't want to think like that. And then I compare myself, then the last point I'm going to make, to the great James Whale, who has acknowledged the end is near. He's in a hospice. My friends are going to see him. I haven't really been able to for a whole raft of reasons. And he's been so brave, so inspirational. And I get furious with myself when I'm going, here's a man riddled with cancer, a great man who's achieved far more than I would ever dream of doing. A lovely man who I've met many times. And he knows he's facing his end. And he's facing it with such bravery. And I'm thinking, Christ, what's my problem? I'll be honest with you. Does that make sense? I admire him so much. I keep saying to his wife, Nadine, I say, James is so freaking inspirational. Inspirational.
The thing is, and I've done it myself, so I can speak fairly with some insight into this. You're comparing yourself to others, and if we're feeling a bit low, okay, if our mental health is down a couple of notches, which if you've got a physical problem, it will be, that is an absolute invite for the inner critic to get in and say something along the lines, because it said it to me, look at those people suffering there, look at those people suffering there, look at what's happening in the world there, and you spoiled middle class
brat.
Twat.
Yeah, you completely shut the hell up.
This has taken you out. You're pathetic. And it's the most unhelpful thing. So you say, well, can't I be kinder to myself? Well, tell that inner voice to fuck off.
I know.
Because it's never
and I've used your technique. I have tried, because my inner voice is crippling. It can be crippling. Based on nothing. This is the thing. Based on nothing. So
would you treat your best friend that way? The way you talk to yourself?
No, of course not. No,
why not?
I mean, because I would care more about my best friend than I would care about myself.
Well, that's what needs to change.
I understand that. You see, here's the thing about mental health or any of these issues. We're not stupid. I know we arse around and we do silly videos and we do this, that, and the other. We're not stupid people. We're not unintelligent people. On an intellectual level, everything that you say, all the guests that we've had, apart from lifestyle coaches, just usually PR women who can't get a job, but everybody else you think, of course, that makes complete logical sense. It's absolutely right. So when you say, give him a little voice like Joe Pasquale, put him on the end of your thumb, all of that stuff, it makes perfect sense.
It does work. However, what you're talking about is you're saying on an intellectual level, it makes perfect sense. And I think I've explained this before on the show. We have two levels of mind, conscious and subconscious. There's actually other levels as well, but for the sake of this conversation, we'll just talk about those two. And when you say it makes perfect sense intellectually, that's your conscious mind talking. However, the conscious mind is only a very, very small part of the mind. The subconscious is much bigger, and it's a storehouse of all our experiences in the past and all that sort of stuff. We can't be without it, because without it, you'd have to learn how to drive a car every time you got into one. You'd have to learn how to open a door. It's there for convenience.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, put it this way. Do you think about how to open a door when you walk through it?
No, of course not.
Exactly. It's unconscious. So you see what I mean? Yeah. Memories are stored in the unconscious. Do you remember when you did the breakfast show with Chris and Cara on Christmas Day?
Of course, I remember it like it was
yesterday. Of course. But were you thinking about it before I said that?
No, I never.
Of course you weren't. because it's unconscious.
That past.
Right,
I never
that's
think
the
about
unconscious.
it,
That's the unconscious. But also in the unconscious is basic shit that we've picked up as we go along, which is basically when we need to be kind to ourselves or to have more faith in the universe, whatever we believe in. Either way, psychologically, spiritually, I'm not saying this way or that way, but whatever we believe in, we turn away from it. And we leave it to our very small ego that's never got anything good to say about anyone, including ourselves. Now that's not a recipe for self-care. So that's what needs to change.
See, here's the thing. I'm going to be really open about something. When I said I was going into when I went taken off by ambulance 2 weeks ago, and I wrote a post on Facebook praising the NHS. That was the point of the post. It wasn't like poor old me. It really wasn't. It was to praise the NHS.
I know. I saw it. It was a good post.
500 people replied. 500 people. I don't know I don't know them. I may have met a handful of them. I don't know the other people. And on the and it split me in two, Neil. See if this makes any sense. The one part, I'm being really very open here because that's how I'm feeling. One part is how lovely. This is extraordinary. Why would 500 people take the time and trouble to send messages? They don't really know me. And then the other thing is, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve it. See, that's probably
well, my inner voice when I was going through all the stuff with my mum, and I mental health dip about 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
I've people were close friends. Most people, with a couple of exceptions, were wonderful and would do things to help me. And I thought, why do I deserve this? Why would you do that for me? Because I was
why do we do? Why? Here's the crux of the question. Then you can ask me your big question. But why do we do that? If people are saying, Neil, I'm going to put it onto you for a change because I'm sick of me. I'm sick of me in many ways. But it's like, why would you say, Neil, I don't deserve it? They wanted to help you. It was genuine offers. They love you, or somewhere between they love you as relatives, or they like you very closely as friends. And why would you say to yourself, why do we do this? We don't deserve. Why? What is it that triggers?
Because we have a lineage as human beings of being unworthy.
But why do we feel that?
It started with religion when we're all sinners and all bad and all lowly little worms, and that's not true either. Not if you look at true spirituality. That's far.
It's horrible. It's horrible. The religion of fear.
And that's actually the complete opposite of spirituality.
Yeah, it's running by fear.
And this is
an amazing point.
Get out the human consciousness as quickly as possible. But hey, what's a couple of thousand years between friends? Yes, Mandy, there is modesty. But the thing is, saying I don't deserve it, with respect, Mandy, is not modesty. That's self-deprecation. That's I'm not worthy of it. To say, you shouldn't have.
I can't. I'm with Mandy.
Modesty. Modesty is just look. I'm pretty good at what I do. You're very good at what you do. If people give me or you a compliment, that's really kind. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's humility. Mandy, don't confuse modesty with humility. Okay, humility and humility has nothing to do with humiliation. Humility, all that means is I don't have all the answers. I'm still learning. I'm a work in progress. We all are. But thank you. That's humility. The opposite of humility is arrogance, the idiot that thinks they know everything. Oh. And Mandy, it's clear you're far from that just by reading a few of your words. But we're all worthy. We're all worthy of whatever we want, for goodness sake.
You see, I can't take praise at all. At all. I've never been able to. It's the most peculiar thing. So even if when I was doing my stand-up, I get the hell out. I leave.
Stand-up was exceptional. It was exquisitely written. I'm very clever.
So much, and I really I appreciate that. But when people are coming up, I just have to leave, and I just
I love it. Again. If I've done a good show, I'll stand by the door and take all the love. I will. Why not? My moment. I enjoyed it. Why not?
It's a weird.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Right. You had a big question.
If I went around all day craving approval from people, that's different. I want to ask you the big question.
It's not embarrassment. Where are we? Do you think it's embarrassment, Mandy? I don't think you're no.
Mandy, I get on stage and sing about doing inappropriate things with household objects like hoovers. Embarrassment doesn't really figure on my radar.
No, it's not embarrassment. No. Embarrassment is very allied to shyness, and that's not it. It's the inability to accept praise. And I think the thing is, the way that I operate is, it's nice to have other people's opinions. If I think I've done the best job possible that I could do, and left no stone
According to
unturned.
whose standards?
My
Society's?
no,
Your inner voice?
my standards.
Your
My
inner voice?
standard. No, the standards I've always set myself for my work, whether it's writing, whether it's funerals or weddings or whatever it might be, or broadcasting. If I know in my heart that I've done the very best that I can do, then I'm satisfied.
But you can
And
still.
then, and if people come up to me and go, "Well, you did," I mean.
But you can still have a heart for yourself as you do the best job you can. Accepting yourself and loving yourself and doing a good job are not mutually exclusive. In fact, I would argue you would do better if you feel really good about yourself and what you're doing.
Well, it's interesting, right?
When
What
people are in flow state and their performance soars, when they're in flow state and their performance soars, I can assure you there is not a part of them going, "Well, you should have done that better."
I had to explain to somebody on Facebook, a chap called Stephen Marsh, perfectly nice chap, what Dr. Theatre was. Because I said that I had to do a funeral. The funeral went beautifully. Could not have been more lovely. I got the most magnificent review. It was everything that one could
and
dream
no doubt
of
deservedly
as a
so.
celebrant. And I said, thank God, Doctor, thank goodness Dr. Theatre came, because I'm thinking, I've got to do this.
Yeah, I know what that is.
And you know what it is. And I think most people watching the show know what Dr. Theatre is. It's you're standing, it really stems from standing in the wings of a stage. And I've seen this so many times when I did theatre for like 9 years. And someone's really ill, they got the flu, they've got they look terrible, and they walk on, the spotlight hits them, they become this other person. Dr. Theatre hits,
and it's like Dr. Theatre takes over and he's working through you. He's a mystical character. Rosemary makes a good point here.
What is
audiences who enjoy whatever show want to express their appreciations, but have you considered this? They might have had an awful day. They've come to a comedy show, right? I'll give you an example. There was a place I did down in Kent with our friends at A Whole Lot of Comedy. Just a little pub in the wilds of Kent, a little country pub, and it was really nice. Where was it? Rust Hall, if I remember rightly. And do you know where that is? No,
never heard of it.
Neither did I. Which tells you it was like in the wilds. But and we're in there, and there's a guy at the bar. And sometimes when you do comedy gigs in pubs, people that come for a drink, they're not there for comedy. And they can either be annoying or they're oblivious and talk too loudly, and all that sort of stuff. They're not like a comedy trained audience or people that they're in appreciative of comedy.
Because they don't think they're in an audience. That's why.
No, exactly. That said, you can have some good ones. And this one it went really well. And a guy came up to me at the end of the night. He's down there with his dog, and his best friend died a day ago. And he just wanted to get out. And he said, coming down here, listening to really inappropriate but funny humor and having a laugh, that really helped him. And I'm getting goosebumps as I say that, which is my truth. Now, but have you considered that you do that too? Have you considered that setting up, I mean, can you at least on a logical level agree that setting up a station all about men's mental health may have helped thousands? People watch the replays, things you were talking about. Someone could be in despair, find one of the old YouTube videos, totally set their life on a different path. Thanks to you. They might have come to your comedy night, had an awful day, or you poked fun at something that they may have been struggling with, and they suddenly saw the funny side of it. All these things you don't know. You don't know the effect you're having.
That's true.
Will you at least consider there may be more to this than the surface level of your little ego? And I don't mean that rudely. We've all got a little ego. Pick. Yeah. But when you can get that part of yourself out the way and maybe look at the bigger picture of what's going on here. Could you at least cut yourself a break on that basis?
Well, yes, I think many of us struggle with that.
Good.
No, I think many of it. Now, what is your big question? You had this.
I want Asa Don Brown, because he normally chips in after I say things like this, and I love his opinion on this show.
Absolutely.
Neil, I wholeheartedly agree. We agree far too much, Dr. Asa. I think I'm paying you.
You should be Dr. Neil Long. No.
I'm not a doctor. Indeed, influenced by society through moral and ethical messages. It's important. This is from a man who is senior psychology in Canada and America. He knows what he's talking about. It's important to be capable of learning to love yourself unconditionally, not like unlike physical workouts. It takes a routine of mental health. It's about reprogramming those messages that are not serving you well. And we've got so many messages. Your friend that you did the podcast with, he's really good at that. What's his name?
Mark Collin.
Brilliant guy. And that's the kind of work he does.
Yeah.
Because he reprograms those messages which are in the unconscious. And because they're unconscious, they're running you. Jung once said, if you don't bring the unconscious into the conscious, it'll show up in your life and you'll call it fate.
Run that by me again slowly. Carl Jung said, if you
don't make the unconscious conscious, and I'll mansplain this in a bit, it will show up in your life and you will call it fate. For example, someone has a perfect example.
Oh, look at this. I'm really getting emotional now. This show helped me tremendously. Could you read it? I can't.
Right.
I can't read it.
This show helped me tremendously when I was alone in Texas after my husband died, for which I thank you so much. My point exactly, my friend.
God.
Let's let that one land.
Wow.
And I'm just going to go back here if we're going to get emotional. And this is from Paul. There we go. Stick that one on the screen as well.
Yeah, well, yeah.
As we are.
But it means, that's lovely. But that means so much from Julie Voice, who, was a stranger.
And that's the point. And when you were doing those shows, you probably didn't even think of that.
No.
That wouldn't have been on your radar. It couldn't have been on your radar.
No,
and yet it was happening. And that's my point. That's my point. So everyone else is enjoying your work, apart from you. So it seems,
no,
do you know?
I
mean, if you can laugh at that.
Work. No. Here's the thing. I love what I do. I never think of it as work. I love what I do. I absolutely love it. All of it. The celebrant side, all of it. It's fantastic. I love it. I love doing this. I love the celebrant side. And when I can get back to my writing novels, I adore that. Love it.
Yeah. I want to see you do another comedy gig as well. But I want to warm up.
Well, that'll be some time off.
I want to be a warm-up man.
No, because you'd eclipse me and everyone would expect.
Oh shit, that's crap. I've got 10 minutes. How can you say that I would eclipse you? I'm a good warm-up. You had an hour of brilliantly crafted and written material.
Don't want to be rude. Hour and a half.
Stop it already.
Hour and a half. So what is this big question then? Come on.
Right, run the problem by me again. Your problem is. You said it earlier. Put it in your own words.
I don't know which of the 8 million thousand. Oh God.
Pick one.
I don't know.
That you don't feel worthy of praise.
That was it. Yeah. That'll be. All right.
What would you have to believe to be true for that to be the case?
What would I have to
believe to be true?
Well, I know it makes no sense. I know that. Intellectually.
So what would you? Let's pull it apart a bit. What would you have to believe for that to be true?
I don't even know how to unpick that. I really don't even know where to start digging.
What would someone that believed they weren't worthy of praise, what might they believe?
Oh, well, that's imposter syndrome. We know that.
All right. Well, let me phrase it this way. It's not safe to accept praise because if I do,
bad things will happen. There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
If I accept, I think it goes something like, if I accept praise, then I would become complacent. And then fate would throw something like an iron bar straight in my face. I think that's the way it illogically goes.
Okay. So.
And I know where it comes from, and I'm not prepared to say it.
That's fine. But is that strictly true? Do you know that to be true?
No.
Is that how
I
the
know
universe works?
maybe it does. Logically,
Does it?
well,
Really?
logically it doesn't.
So this eternal universe
When you
is
think
based on the somewhat childish premise of, oh, that one's having too good a time. Let's throw a
yes,
lightning bolt.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay. What would you have to believe to be true for that to be the case?
Fate is not
Defined
kind.
as?
Well, it's not kind. It's got other plans. Oh, God, sorry, I'm horribly uncomfortable. Forgive me. Yeah, fate will just screw you up because you think everything's going great and then bang.
So as a preemptive defense mechanism,
Yeah.
you won't let in any praise which would actually improve your life. What if it wasn't true that it would make you complacent? What if it could improve your life? What then?
Well, I don't know. That would be marvelous.
Could you try?
Well, but yeah, how do you do that? How do you do that? Is
Right.
this part of this thing that you attend? Is this where this comes
Is
from?
there? Yeah. By the way, the words that are coming out of my mouth, they're not mine. If you want to explore more of this incredible man's work, his name's Nick Bro. I'll pop it on the screen. And I really, really recommend him.
Oh, look at this. You see, Julie's got her finger on the pulse. If I accept praise for something I've done, I meet. Where's it gone? Oh, Nick Bro.
I'm sorry.
Where are we? If I accept praise for something that I've done,
Sorry, Julie.
I immediately feel that I have to live up to it constantly. Yeah. I beat myself up when I don't. Oh.
Julie, what would you have to believe to be true for that to be the case? That you have to be perfect all the time? Is
Kind of,
anyone
yeah.
perfect all the time?
Well, it depends the standards that you set.
Whose standards?
Our
Religions?
own. No.
Media?
No,
Government?
not
Our
external.
partners?
No, who cares about
Ourselves?
that? They're finished. They're, we're not going to survive another 4 years of
Whose
this.
standards?
Our own standards, the things that whip us, and
But
we
were you?
whip
But was it?
ourselves.
But was it? What the things that whip you? Were they your beliefs in the first place, or were you given them?
Undoubtedly given.
Because for
They
a
weren't
very
my
long
beliefs.
time, there was men are superior. That one went around for a long time. Turns out that one's not true. A woman's place is in the home. Turns out that one wasn't true. In fact, there's an awful lot of bullshit that we've inherited that isn't true. So
Yeah.
how do you know this is absolutely true? Is that true in all parts of the universe? Or just your world?
Probably my world. I don't know. But it's really interesting. You see some people.
Can I just pop this guy's name on the screen? If you like what we're talking about, and like the idea, folks, of change work, of rooting through unhelpful beliefs, I can bear witness to this. I've seen this, and literally 10 years comes off people when he asks the right probing questions, and I'm nowhere near as good at it as he is. He is incredible at it, unbelievably brilliant. So his name's Nick Bro, and he does calls and all sorts of things, all sorts of wonderful things. Give him a Google. If you like this stuff, you won't regret it. I promise you. The man is brilliant.
Well, that's praising, and he's really helped you.
Yes.
Do you look back when you had your blip, and you can tell me to mind my own business? Do you look back and recognize that person?
I've got more compassion for him now because the inner voice was so critical. And I now, as Asa says, it's good to keep an eye on your mental health, and I will not let it slip. If I do have any control, I will not let it slip to that degree as best as I can. Do I recognize that person? Yeah, it's still me. I mean, nobody's perfect. There's some things that I'm really, 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 really good at, and there's some things I'm really, really, really shit at. That's the thing. So
that's okay, but we can acknowledge that. You have to, the immortal words of Clint Eastwood of Dirty Harry: "A man's got to know his limitations." Right? We do have all this. You can do everything and anything is nonsense. We can't. There are certain things we are not gifted with, and there are certain things we are gifted with. Silly example. silly example. When I'm in a family meeting for a funeral, and there's a point to this, I'm not plugging myself, but there's a point to this. And I say, do you want me to read this or would you read it? And they look at me with absolute shock, and there's no way we could stand up. I said, of course not. That's my job. I'll take care of it. And I will read whatever needs to be done and conduct the service. Now, the professional me goes, I don't quite understand, because you just got to stand, I don't see it as an art form, but
they don't
it
have your training.
clearly is. The thing
They
is,
don't
it
have your
really
training.
clearly is.
And this is the value of what you do. You bring, and everything you've done before has kind of led up to this.
Yes, exactly.
It's like this is your life. You've been on a stage one way or another for most of your life.
Well,
You've
since 84.
writing, performing,
since 84, before that,
radio,
writing.
and
so I guess
as you grow older, wiser, more compassionate.
No wiser. That hurts. You see, the great thing is, one of the great myths, as we go older, we get wiser. And I think I don't think so at all. I don't think so. I don't think.
Well, in that case, do it with style and panache and get old disgracefully.
That's the thing.
Julie, what are you saying yes to? There's so many questions flying around here. Was that to the answer to the question, do you think you have to be perfect? Yes. But if that is, pop another yes. And I'll offer my thoughts on that with your permission, if I may. Let's break down the idea of perfect.
We have to try and do our best. That's fair enough. As a parent, as whatever, we have to try, as an employee, we have to try and do our best. And if in our hearts we genuinely feel we have done our best, you can do no. My dad used to say, if it was an exam or something, did you do your best? And I went, well, yeah. Both of us as performers, let's just move it to something we can discuss in concrete terms. You doing your stand-up, me doing when I do my stand-up shows. Full well, if you gave it your very best and a joke didn't land, it didn't work, you think, well, I did my absolute best with that. I still believe in it. But you also know, if you've been lazy, if you tried to cut corners, if you haven't prepared, if you haven't rehearsed, if you haven't worked and worked and worked until it's polished and you're as pleased with it as you can be and to the best of your ability, then you've got you won't beat yourself up about it. You see, yes, Mandy Miller says, have to always keep up standards. Yeah. But you see, Mandy Miller's going, no, this is where it gets difficult. And I can relate to this. I am a perfectionist.
I'm just looking at perfectionism. Bear with me. Before we move on to that, would you mind if I just address Julie? Because we're going.
Go ahead. Go on now. Yeah. Go on.
Okay. Right. Let me just look at this. One moment.
That's all right.
I'm just going to find this. Perfect. Perfect, Julie, would imply finished. And as Dave very serendipitously wrote, just as we were talking about that, we're all evolving and growing. I remember when my daughter, she was having a challenge at work, and she's an incredible young professional, but it was a challenge at work, and it was along the lines of maybe a bit of imposter syndrome. And I said, but darling, you're growing and evolving. And I gave her one of these cliches, which would normally make her roll her eyes. And I think she did, but in a good way. I said, just because, Julie, there's nothing wrong with an acorn because it's not a mighty oak tree yet. At every stage,
that's very clever. That's very good.
Every stage, we're in the perfect place to move on and become more because we're growing and evolving. So that's the perfection. The perfection is where you stand and how you are now. And I love this. There's something Dave said as well. So you're always a work in progress. Therefore, you might as well love yourself as you are now because you'll be something else again soon. You know what I mean? We're all evolving and growing. The self-aware among us are learning along the way. And that's the thing. So we can learn from our life experience. We can take the best of it and ditch the rest if we can. And that's a really
What
good thing.
happens if you feel you haven't learnt from life experiences? And believe
Then
me,
the experience will keep repeating
far
itself.
too many life experiences that I could really, really have done without. It's not been easy. But and then you think, and at the time you think, I'm going to learn from this. This is going to I'm going to change, and then life takes over, and you go back to the same damn thing.
Because I think we default back to.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like this default position.
Well, it takes awareness. I think Dave used the word, it's awareness, but not judgment and not criticism, just awareness. If you're putting coffee in the teacup and you want to make a cup of tea, it doesn't matter how many times you put coffee in, you'll never make a cup of tea.
No, correct. Okay.
Something needs to change.
Yeah.
This is from John Gray, who's one of my favorite authors. He wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, but he also wrote a great book called How to Get What You Want and Want What You Have. And he talks about perfectionism here, which is a block.
I like that. How to get what you want and
want what you have.
Oh, isn't that nice?
I'll send you the link. It's a great book.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, he's a fantastic author, and an amazing man, I think. Letting go of perfectionism, which is a block to success, by the way. It doesn't create it. So anyone that thinks they have to keep up standards or be perfect, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but it actually blocks your success. Here's why. When you disconnect from your innate ability to accept life is not and can never be perfect, you get stuck in the desire to be perfect. As a result, you expect too much from yourself or others. Everything must be perfect, and it never is. When you expect perfection, you're never happy or content. You're too demanding and forfeit any grace in your life. Not necessarily in the religious sense, but grace in more of a sort of an acceptance, or in the religious sense, if you like. But you can interpret this in secular ways or spiritual ones. It doesn't matter. Everything is measured and compared. When nothing is good enough, you cannot freely give and receive love. When things have to be perfect, you cannot rest and enjoy what you have or who you are. The need to be perfect is a false need. It begins during childhood when we try and be perfect for our parents.
Yeah.
We make the mistake of believing that we must be perfect to make our parents happy. Every child is born with a healthy desire and longing to please parents. The need to please others is healthy, but can easily become twisted and unhealthy. When children are unable to succeed in pleasing their parents, the need to please, turns into the need to be perfect. As children, we're so happy when our parents are happy with us and are so sad when we've disappointed them. To please them, we begin trying to adjust and correct ourselves in ways that deny who we are. The more we have to give up our true self to please our parents, the more we feel we have to be perfect. And that's where it comes from originally, probably. As children, we commonly experience upsets at the most inconvenient times. As a result, we don't get the positive message that our feelings are okay. A child needs the freedom to feel and experience all the different levels of emotions and then gradually learn to manage them. If a parent doesn't approve of a particular emotion, stop crying, then for sure the child will feel inadequate some way for feeling that emotion.
Yeah.
To win the parents' approval, they seek to suppress their feelings. As children, we need to receive the messages that are negative, the message that our negative emotions are okay. And I always said that to Ashley because I'd read this book by then. As children, we're supposed to make many mistakes to learn our lessons, but we often get the message that if we make some mistakes, something is wrong with us. As a result, we don't get the positive message that it's okay to make mistakes. When we feel if we can't make mistakes, we're well on the way to feeling that we have to be perfect. If we happen to be gifted or talented in some way, Russ, it can also lead to perfectionism. Since we're talented, we get special attention for being outstanding. We become accustomed to feeling this special praise for being so good. And that's kind of like what Julie said. She beats herself up when she feels she can't keep up the standard, Julie. This makes it more difficult to us to risk doing things that we're not so good at. So you can't learn anything new because you're so busy trying to be perfect with the old. We cannot bear disappointing our parents by trying other things and not being the best. Unless we go through the process of struggling to achieve something and making mistakes, we don't get the important experience of failing and still being loved. The result
let's hear this because we need to. This is very
sure. I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it on the screen.
Can you I want to go and get it. Very interesting.
Can I carry on reading this about perfectionism? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Would you like me to carry on?
Everyone's loving
Although
it.
perfectionists, here we go. Although perfectionists may be very accomplished in their fields, Russ, they're really good enough for themselves. Rather than love what they've created, perfectionists sometimes don't like their work at all. To get a sense of the underlying feeling of inadequacy that determines many of your surface feelings and desires, make a recording of your voice in conversation. Most people don't like the sound of their own voice and can't believe that's how they sound, apart from me, because I love my own voice, because I'm an
You
egotist.
love the sound of your own voice. Let's be honest. You love it.
And I can give good voice.
You love it all night long.
The reason it's such a powerful experience is we have a tremendous defense inside to compensate for childhood feelings of inadequacy. To hear ourselves because we sound different brings up early fears that we're not good enough and we're being rejected. As a result, we feel very embarrassed. It's hard to accept ourselves, even though others who are listening think we sound wonderful. Seeking perfection. In most cases, we demand perfection because we're deficient in vitamin G1. You'd need to read the book to understand this. But basically, that's a spiritual love tank. When we're not spiritual connected.
A spiritual love
tank? We use it love tanks. It's you have to read the book. It's very cleverly done. But I won't go into that now. We need a spiritual connection. Because we don't have that, we look for perfection in the outer world, which can't be perfect. So we feel there's something wrong with us. Yeah? When we feel more connected to whatever we believe in, source, universe, doesn't matter what you call it. I'm nearly done now. When we feel that connection, we feel content as we are now while still wanting more. It's all right to want more.
All right, so let me ask you this. Do you ever have peace of mind? Just peace of mind?
Sometimes.
Never.
Although my mind is like a monkey and it jumps a million miles an hour.
It drives me insane. It's like a firework display constantly in my head. But peace of mind. People say, what do you want? What do you want? I said, I'd love peace of mind. Just to go, that would be marvelous. And I wonder how many of our viewers and listeners all over the world actually just experience just peace of mind. I don't mean bliss, I don't mean satisfaction, just this is okay. Now, can you put up what the book was? I'm just going to
do it now.
Let's go here. Hang on, I'll try and do this. This is from Azadon Brown. Living with our past is like looking through a dirty windscreen, Asa, windscreen. Americans. We must learn to let go of our past, our successes and our failures, and begin living in the present. I
mean, I think I'm not religious or a churchgoer, but that's in the Bible, isn't it? We see darkly through a glass. Our perception's clouded by
the Rolling Stones, wasn't it? Through a glass darkly, and it's not the Bible. It's a poem. I can't remember.
It is in the Bible.
Is it?
And I'm not a biblical scholar, but I do know it is in the Bible.
But you are. Yeah. You are the Reverend Neil.
Hardly.
Yeah.
Hardly.
Dave Sleep I think he's up in Fife. He might be in London. External evaluation will always be stronger when the internal evaluation is low. Okay. Kimmy. Yeah, Kimmy watched that thing that Chantal recommended. I watched that Jesus Cult program. They all needed something but crazy. Yeah, crazy.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of crazy stuff in this. John Gray actually used to be a monk, but so he's spiritual without being a nutcase. I wouldn't if it was anything. Was that Kimmy or Julie that said that about the Jesus program?
Kimmy.
If there was anything culty or weird about it, I wouldn't touch it with your barge pole, let alone mine. Seriously, I would not go near it. But I do recommend that book. It's very, very grounded.
Going to read this out, then Neil will put the name of the book up because everyone wants to see it. Mandy Miller says this. I love to help people at the moment. At the moment, I'm helping a friend who lost her husband at the age of 66. It's horrible. And I'm sensitive to her emotions, and it frustrates me. I can't help her get through this, except for taking her out and buying her lunch. There is this OCD perfectionism. Let me say something to you, Jim.
Not OCD.
Mandy, let me say something to you. The fact that you're doing this, the fact that you are there,
is enough.
Is enough.
Is enough.
It's enough. I've been there. All right. I will never forget the people who were there. I'll never forget the people who were there, and I've never forgiven the people who pissed off. So the fact that you're doing that, it's not OCD and it's not perfectionism.
No, it's not OCD.
You are not a trained therapist.
OCD is a disorder that destroys your life. It's not OCD. Perfectionism may be a touch of it, but Mandy, for all the love in the world, with all the good intention, if I could wave a magic wand, get inside someone's mind and body and wipe away all their pain, I would. But you can't. And neither can you. It's their process. And all we can do is be there and support them in their process. If they need to cry, let them cry. If they want to rant, let them rant. If they want to laugh, let them laugh. If they want to hug, give them a hug. If they want to be left alone,
leave them alone.
Out for a meal, whatever.
Just and that's let them know you're there, though. Let them know
that's what you can do. And that's more than
Randy,
enough.
Here you are. Here's someone you're trying to help. And I'm going to be a bit more like Neil now. What would you expect to do? There isn't a magic cure to this. Grief, and I hate the word process because it's very American, but grief truly is a process, and it takes years. Years to get through. Years. And sometimes you never get through it. What you will do is you will learn to cope. You will learn to reframe your life to get through it.
And Mandy, my love, have you considered that by doubting yourself when you're doing a good and kind thing is actually detrimental to your mental health? So stop doing that.
Yeah.
You big sausage.
Yeah, there's nothing more you can do. The fact that you're there speaks volumes about you as a human being.
Oh, about bloody time, Fat Scotty.
Yeah, Fat Scotty. Fat.
Anyway, that concludes the episode on how to have the best sex ever. No replay because this one wasn't recorded. Sorry about that.
Sorry about
Wednesday.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. What else we got? We've got here we go. Dave swallowed a thesaurus again.
Oh my goodness!
Gee, I'm going to have to read this slowly the way I'm feeling. The lenses of external evaluation are given to us by those with their own negative outlook, including social media. We'll always shape our outlook until we get the internal evaluation level up and build our own self-awareness. A Fat Scotty, before he goes back to the buffet, is grief. Is not even fat. The grief is the worst. It's horrible. You can cope with relationship. You can cope with.
You think you're over it, and then boom, it just gets you.
Yeah, it's just.
And you're a mess. I'm getting through this, and grief's like, no, you're not.
Well, Mandy, you're being very open and honest. I'm on happy pills already to help me cope with the death of my mum. Yes.
And why not?
Why not?
And why not? Which is probably why you have an incredible empathy and understanding.
Why not?
And that alone, if people feel that vibe from you, that you understand, that again, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough.
You know, I'm going to say this to you, Mandy, and then we'll read Hazel's comment. You know, there's no shame in this. If you've got a broken leg, you need a crutch. You need a stick, right? Otherwise, you're going to fall over. It's as simple as that. So when you say happy pills, the thing about it is, of course, it doesn't make you happy, but it takes away some of the edge. I think is the fair way. I wish there were happy pills. I mean, I don't touch drugs. I understand why people do it, but I've never touched drugs. It's just me. It's not a big moral crusade. It's just me. Okay? I understand why people do it, to get away from everything. And then, of course, it just gets into a horrible cycle and you are screwed.
Yeah.
Ace Brown, Russ, I completely agree. Grief and loss is a process and we must be willing to show ourselves compassion along the way. Yeah, it's a long.
And in learning to show yourself compassion, you'll have more compassion for others. Life is beautiful and shit all at the same time.
See, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm lucky to have I have a very supportive husband who I can't.
Mandy,
hang on, whoa, what are you saying? I luckily have a very supportive husband who I can't talk about things.
I think she means can.
I hope you mean can.
Yeah.
This
and
man's
Mandy,
Mandy,
here's a thought for you. If you think you're a bit OCD or perfectionistic, I've got brilliant. This is brilliant. Mandy. Do you think your husband, when you talk to him about your thoughts and feelings, as any partner should be able to do, and I'm sure you did mean can, not can't, do you think, yeah, of course you do. Do you think he goes, God, was that good enough? Or is he enough just as he is for you? And if he is, then why aren't you? Because you are, girl.
What's Myers? Myers? I don't know what that means. I'm lost. Look at this fat Scotty. He's only 21 years late. Anyway, popped into Euston Tower on Saturday. Neither of you were in. Bloody cheap. Yeah.
Scott, can you stop stalking us, mate? I know we're celebrities, but can you please stop the stalking? It's not appropriate, man.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. What's she say? Second time round, always the best. Ooh. I'm not walking into that minefield, Mandy. Thank you very much. Whatever you may think. Well, that's it.
Can I just promote Wednesday quickly?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Two lovely guests. We're going to be talking to one of the UK's leading social media marketing experts. So if you've got something you want to get out there, because there's a way of doing it, and there's a way of definitely not doing it, and I'm sure she will have the latest insight. We're also going to be talking to a lovely lady called Leslie Thomas, who I'm just looking up on Facebook now.
How are you finding all these wonderful people?
Light bulb. Light bulb.
Okay. Light bulb. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, and this is a lovely way to end the show from Mandy Miller.
Oh, hold on, sorry. Let's talk parents. Let's talk money. Let's talk parents, financial literacy, and talking with people about money. Leslie Thomas is our guest on Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. I'll let you close the show, sir.
Well, thank you, Neil. I thought today was really insightful, very personal, very real.
Take this thought with you, everyone. Just say it to yourself 5 times. I am enough.
I am enough.
I am enough.
I will see you guys as soon as I can. I wish you all well. Play nice.
Do you need cover? How long are you going to be away for, buddy?
I have no idea. I don't know what the recuperation process is.
Well, send the link my way, and I'll keep the.
Well, you're linked up to. I've linked you Wednesday and Friday, and I'll probably do the links for next. Well, I don't. You know.
So you want me? Do you want me to do Friday?
No, Fridays should be covered by.
Of course, yeah.
I hope Phil should be able to do it. Anyway, and Mandy says this. I'm glad that we can be open. Well, we're not the BBC. I haven't got some 12-year-old intern, saying, yeah, that call can go through, that call can't go.
It feels like relief. It feels like relief, and if that, and it should be relief. It's life can be amazing, and there's difficult bits, and on we go.
Here, really, to support each other, which was the whole point.
And we are, and there's an awful lot of support for you on Facebook and all the socials and all your friends and family and professional colleagues. We love you, man, and we'll see you when you're back.
See you soon. God bless. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.